This is the Fifth Estate Winning Headlines, your media police post. In this segment, we summarize some of the headlines that you might have missed this morning. But we also take a look at the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. Today is the 23rd of May, 2019, and I am 2J.
I am 2M.
And I am Miss K, your host. Again, in case you missed it, this is Winning Headlines. Let's take a look at today's headlines. The Star, go slow on Matiang'i, Ruto tells his troops. Daily Nation, how you could lose your land,
yes.
and The Standard.
Yes.
Shock revelation of budgeted graft.
Absolutely.
Yes. I say we start with the Nation today.
I know, something interesting and different.
Yeah. How you could lose your land.
Yes, I like this. And I think if there's an area DCI Kinoti should move into, stop with the small things of Kimorera and Aror. The land registry system in this country, I think, is super rotten.
Yeah.
How people are getting conned of a lot of money. And if you go to Kajiado, you go to Kamulu, you go to, name it, Machakos, then people are losing so much money because of cartels.
Yeah.
Now you go falsify documents, you falsify titles, you go sell a piece of land that doesn't belong to you. The owner loses his piece of land, you lose your money, right? And now when you go to court, the court has to go after this person, the next. It just becomes messy.
Yeah, I think the worst part of it is that they're now canoodling with rogue officials.
Yes.
I think it's one thing to have cartels, but it's another for us to say that the land registry itself is rotten.
That is true. Because you could have someone pretend to sell land if the owner is not there. I just come, I pretend this is our land. I falsify the documents and it's okay as long as we go to court and an owner is able to produce a valid document. But if now you have contradictory valid documents,
what do you do?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the suggestion for 2019 that we would, want to give is that we should start implementing blockchain technology.
Oh, yes.
I feel like this is new technology that is beneficial because you're not able to falsify documents.
Yes.
This...
Are we saying this at the first time? Us who've been against a lot of technology, that this is a good technology that would help that system.
Because the point of this technology is that we as the users are able to verify what is coming in. And you cannot falsify documents. Because if 2M tries to say, no, this is my land, we as blockchain members are able to say no. Because this was how it was before. It's a system that proves itself over and over and over again. So possibly this is something we should look into.
I mean, in the first world countries, you can actually go to a site, pay a little fee, and you're able to get the lot, the title lot of that piece of land. Right.
Well, I guess that, again, we're going back to the making of the system. We stopped the manual system where you have files and you pull them and you can change them.
Absolutely. The reason people are doing this is because everything is manual.
So then, what do we say? How you could lose your land? Is this our winning headline? And let's use our criteria. We have a 3-part criteria that we use to break down the headlines for you. We ask ourselves 3 questions. Is this headline topical or is it speculative? Is it repetitive or is it groundbreaking? And finally, is it thoughtful or just plain lazy? I say it's awesome because it leaves our veil of ignorance.
Yes, yeah.
So put it in the parking bay. Let's see what we have against it, and we'll bring it back.
Yes.
Shock revelation of budgeted graft.
Yeah, interesting headline.
This
budgeted.
I don't like, and I'll shoot.
Shoot straight. And I'm telling you, I think you're going to shoot straight into one person, the Auditor General.
The Auditor General. I think the Auditor General should look for a role in Hollywood because he's coming out every now and then saying, oh, that county has used money it should not have. Oh, Eurobond was like this. And now, what we have actually realized is the last person who should speak about money being misappropriated is the Auditor General. Because twice he has come out to say that, leave WAITITU alone, he has not committed any crime. But the reason WAITITU was roasted at the Senate is because of the Auditor General's report. Second, going to Eurobond. Eurobond 1, there was a query from the Auditor General. So man flies all the way to New York to interrogate the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, right? Because there was a problem. And then later, 2 years later, he comes and tells us that, oh, sorry, there was no problem. It was all above board. So why should we believe him now?
What you're saying is that in our minds, the Auditor General should be a nameless, faceless, run-of-the-mill, square as they come, accountant.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
And he should not engage in what you're calling activism.
Then
what's this
he's losing credibility at this point.
He's behaving like some people who are called Afokogo,
Africog.
Kogo.
You said it first.
All right.
The Star goes slow on Matiang'i. Ruto tells his troops, and I guess this is a follow-up from yesterday's story.
Yeah.
Yes, complete 180.
I know.
Yesterday we were counting numbers for the threshold, and now
I believe this story, but not if I don't believe William Ruto is not supporting the impeachment of Matiang'i.
Okay, say that again one more time.
Train. Let's go. Let's
believe-
go
you
one more
believe-
time. I believe in you. You
I'll-
believe?
I'll say it again.
All right.
Let's go.
I believe this story.
Okay.
I believe William Ruto told his people, go slow.
Yes.
But I don't believe those were his actual intentions. Tower paradox.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So when you want them to go hard, you're telling them to go slow.
Yes. And the reason is, I believe that the person who was behind the Uhuru impeachment was none other than...
So you say it. All your words on this table.
Today we're not saying words. One, we're implying. Two, we're deep in speculation.
What is the
Three,
fear to
and we're
have?
chugging like a slow train.
You see, I told you guys, Uhuru missed impeachment like this.
Because of a technicality.
Because of a technicality. The guy who pushed that motion disappeared on the day of the motion. He even moved.
All right, so what do you think about this headline?
The person who will put this motion again might disappear in the same way.
All right, I think that we
Do
toss
you see
it.
how hard it was for us to just get through this section?
I know.
It's evidence to the throwing of it.
All right.
Get rid of it.
Very well. So are we
And
saying...
on to... Oh, yes. The Daily Nation is our winning headline.
I think it is a winning headline.
I
Lifts a bit
agree.
of ignorance. I think it ticks on all three parts of our criteria. I think
And it
there's a-
exposes the cartels that are trying to forge documents and steal your land.
It's short and sweet. If you pass by this on the street, you would pick that up.
Yes, absolutely.
And especially because Kenyans, we know we love our land. On to our next segment, the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. And just like the headlines, we have a three-part criteria that we use to break them down for you.
Yeah.
We ask ourselves three questions. Is the cartoon humorous or is it dry? Is it satirical or is it pessimistic? And finally, is it effective or just plain lazy?
Yeah.
Since Nation 1, you're pulling out their cartoon.
Yeah, because it's going to lose.
Okay.
Wow.
I don't like Ndula's cartoon today.
All right, what do you see?
I see Farmajo, president of Somalia, on a table with an Arafat wearing President Uhuru Kenyatta caricature. And under the table is a barrel of oil. And Uhuru Kenyatta's legs are on top of that barrel of oil. And the caption is, what diplomatic tiff?
Yeah.
In my view, the reason I don't disagree with this is because...
You don't disagree with this?
the reason I disagree with this,
I just have to clarify.
what's happening today?
I don't know. Chug,
Something
little
in the
Tommy.
water.
That's all right. I don't agree with this because they're implying, Ndula is implying, that this oil belongs to Somalia. And therefore, Uhuru Kenyatta has to go and shake Farmajo's hand and try and get into it.
Yeah, what confuses me about this cartoon is I don't know what made this sentiment arise. I think we have been very clear on our position.
Right.
The Daily Nation itself yesterday had a headline that covered the story.
Yes.
So Ndula got lost somewhere along
I don't
the way.
know. Well, also what I don't like about it is the implication. You see, there's I don't know whether to call it a metaphor, an allegory. I don't know what. Under the table has a meaning. So whenever you do something under the table, there's an implication that it is secret, it is hidden, it is illegal,
Absolutely.
and it is covert.
Absolutely.
So now, what is on the table is clean, clear, and assured. What is on the table is the flag of Somalia.
That is the point.
Yeah.
That is
Where's
the
the
point.
Kenyan
Where's
flag?
the Kenyan
Where's the
flag?
Kenyan flag? And
What is under the table is the barrel of oil
Yes.
and Uhuru's legs covering it.
I think you were suggesting that by not putting the Kenyan flag, we're saying that Uhuru Kenyatta is the one who is doing these dealings. And therefore,
covertly.
Ndula is suggesting that the president himself is committing treason.
And that is a very strong
Very- yeah.
suggestion because he's showing that our president has been co-opted.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if at all there was a discussion on the table, there would be no need for a court case.
And even that handshake is not on the table.
Yeah.
It's towards the
I
side.
say we toss it. It's
I say
clearly
we toss it.
Yes.
failing at all levels.
It's pessimistic.
Yeah.
It's not effective.
Yes.
Toss it.
It's misleading, if anything. Yeah.
New sheriff in town.
I kind of like the
I love it.
fast-moving, marching Magoha.
He has been, I think this looks like a Nazi uniform, and Magoha is marching
A military uniform.
like a Nazi soldier.
Apana.
Yeah.
Please do not have negative references.
That's how he looks like.
He looks like a soldier,
military man.
Military man.
Yes.
And that implies precision, diligence, marching to orders.
Yes. Force. Absolutely.
That implies all those things.
And he's marching, and his briefcase is written competency-based curriculum.
Yeah.
And
like
he's going with purpose to execute his mission.
I have come to like Magoha, and I want to say something crazy.
That didn't take long.
I know.
That should Matiang'i lose his position as minister because of an impeachment, the person who will take over from him is Magoha.
All right. I say let's put this in the parking
I say put
bay.
it in the parking bay because I do like the enforcer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our producer called it that and I loved it.
All right. Finally, star.
Whoa.
Theresa May, Theresa maybe.
I know you have
Theresa
something to say about this.
maybe
So
not.
you want to describe it?
I say today we give this to 2J because this is her
Yeah.
least favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so here we have caricature of Theresa May, 3 images of her in different praying or begging positions. So the first one at the back says Theresa May as she's begging. Then we have Theresa maybe, followed by, in a praying position, Theresa maybe not.
She's now prostrate.
And the caption says, will this be her final Brexit deal? So there's lots of issues I have with this cartoon. First of all, the imagery of the praying. I think that's in bad taste considering we're in the season of Ramadan.
I agree completely.
And
in fact, that was my first one.
Yeah.
Insensitive.
Exactly.
These are salah
And then
positions.
the other, so these are 2 big things. The second one is that this is plagiarized content from The Economist.
Ooh.
A couple of months ago, I believe their front page was Theresa maybe. So outright, Ozone has stolen the intellectual property of The Economist and made it look as if it is his own.
Well, there's no problem with borrowing or being inspired by.
However, you need to give credit.
And Gado does this very well.
Gado does that all the time.
I mean, yesterday he referenced
Zapiro.
the South African cartoonist.
Yeah.
So
And he's also borrowed ideas from Prof, where he'll write on the side, apologies or credit to.
So I say credit to.
This is not
The
original,
Economist.
and I think for that reason, it is not even. We don't even discuss it. It is disqualified.
Okay.
Yeah. Goodbye. So
But
that
then leaves Gado and Magoha the enforcer.
I'm not married to the cartoon. I won't lie.
Okay, it's true.
However, 2M, I know you like it.
Oh, I love it. He looks like he's about to do a salute. You know what salute?
What I will do is this.
Yeah.
I'm not married to Magoha, and the idea of
No,
him.
I know you're not.
Yes, I just wanted to make it very clear because you're married to him. I do want to say this. I will keep it for the irony. Gado's little man of truth has question marks. He has question marks as to whether or not this determined Magoha the enforcer will actually execute. So for that reason, I'd say it's a winning cartoon.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, fair enough.
What is our final thought, madam?
I have noted you.
All right. 2M, talk to us.
I was looking at her and I noticed Adam Zabu.
Oh my goodness. Wow. All right.
Shame.
Guys, let's behave.
Okay, stop. I've stopped. Truce.
All right. 2M, give us our final thought.
Handshake is for Uhuru and Raila. Yes. And now our final thought. It is inspired by a book entitled The Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. Right? And the central thesis about this book is that nobody is born a genius. Right? We make it through sheer effort. And I'll summarize it in a paragraph. And it says, natural ability requires huge investment of time in order to be made manifest. Junie.
All right, so I'm sure you all have realized that this week we are going through the Fort Hall School of Government classics, and today we bring you a modern classic. This is one of our favorites.
Yeah.
So the Outliers. First of all, defined by Gladwell, an outlier is, or they are, people who do not fit into our normal understanding of achievement.
Yeah.
So they're people who live on the fringes.
Yeah.
He says in the book that genius is overrated, and success is not just about innate ability.
Yes.
It is combined with a number of factors such as opportunity, meaningful hard work, which is the 10,000 hour rule, we'll elaborate, and cultural legacy.
Yes.
So random factors such as chance,
Yes.
such as being where you are and when you are at any given moment can both influence the opportunities that you have.
Yes.
So in this book, I think there are two key parts that we'd want to highlight. Okay. The first one is opportunity. So in the book, he says that you should seize opportunity whenever it presents itself to you.
Yes.
So part of opportunity is timing.
Yes.
So he gives the example that 14 out of the 75 richest people in the world were Americans. And those were born between the years of 1860 and 1870. Okay. So you have Carnegie, Vanderbilt, Ford, Rockefeller, JP Morgan.
Yeah.
And another example he gives is that the top IT entrepreneurs who live in the Silicon Valley area were born between 1953 and 1956. This was
so in essence, what they did, they're a function of their circumstances.
It was just
they
timing.
were born at the right time.
It was
when
luck.
they could
That's luck.
get a revolution.
Exactly. And then the second thing he talks about is legacy.
Yeah.
So this is not legacy in the way that we have typically spoken about it. For example, what will we say about Uhuru in 20 years? Yeah. Legacy here is what he talks about, cultural legacy. Yeah. The things that your parents have passed down to you.
It's your history.
Your
what
history
comes from your
past.
past.
And sometimes these are just advantages that have been given to you.
Yeah.
So
essentially what I guess both of you are trying to tell me is that pretty much everyone who is really, really good at anything has to work really, really hard to get really, really good at that thing.
because genius is
So that
overrated.
is like the 10,000 hour rule, if I could call it that.
Yes.
So then, what you're saying is that those people who had that had the opportunity to practice at that thing over and over again, and because they did that, they were able to succeed frequently. Can I hazard that? Could we say that our president has 10,000 hours?
Oh yes.
Oh, most definitely.
And you
he's
know,
put in the work.
You know what Malcolm Gladwell says? He says 10,000 hours is a magic number of greatness. And you see, if Uhuru Kenyatta was born in State House, we can say that, correct?
It is true.
He watched his father lead.
Yes.
He watched his father cane people who did not want to work.
Well.
He watched Moi. Moi would call him, come, we chill together. Kibaki was his godfather. My point is, he was slowly progressed to the presidency. Yeah. He became KTB chair, and then he was nominated into parliament, and then he ran for president, and he was beaten proper by Kibaki, but then he woke up from it.
Yeah, and I think that's the difference between putting in 5,000 hours and putting in 10,000 hours. So in this book, when he talks about the 10,000 hour, it's the golden rule. Yes. If you put in 10,000 hours, you will become great. If you put in 5,000 hours, sure, you'll be good. Yeah. But great is better than good.
You know this book for the boy, Santiago?
Yes, The Alchemist.
The Alchemist. And Santiago getting away from Spain, going to Egypt, and then going back.
And then discovering.
Yes, that period of time
is his 10,000 hours.
Was 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
For him to discover his purpose, he had to go through 10,000 hours.
So, Ms. K, there were some other interesting things you were.
I was going to say this, though. Like whenever we talk about our president, when we talk about Raila, we talk about them as dynasties.
Yes.
So I'm going to bring in a new thing and put in a new layer on your 10,000 hour rule. So yes, Uhuru Kenyatta has his 10,000 hours. He had the opportunity to put it in. But is this also because his success is not because of his own making? He's a product of the world in which he grew up.
Yep.
So he's a product of the fact that he was born in State House. He's a product of the fact that his father was a founding father. So is Raila Odinga. He's a product of the fact that his father was a founding father, was there with Kenyatta,
and in
was
fact,
in
the book, Gladwell calls this the Matthew effect, and he takes it from Matthew 25:29. For whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken away from them.
Wow.
So he says the idea is that there are feedback loops in aspects of our society that make it so that people who have been given an advantage will receive more and more, and they'll have more advantages over their peers.
That is true, because if we look at our Kenyan political scene, a lot of the big politicians we have, either their fathers were founding fathers or were friends of founding fathers. So you just look at the broad spectrum, you will see the connection, and it takes you all the way back to
dynasties.
that original thing that you said. So if you were born in the time of the tech revolution, then you were able, because you were present at that time, to take advantage of it. So if you were born and your parents were alive and well during our independence era, that is what we call a colonial opportunity.
I love that verse. I really love that verse. So now, other than being winning headlines, farmer, now you're a bishop.
Yes.
Yeah.
On Sundays.
New thing. But one last thing.
Yeah.
What about the hustlers? I guess, where does that leave the hustlers in Malcolm Gladwell's
I have a quote for them.
story? Wait. Before you do your quote, can I just say that I don't think that it's fair for us to just look at that alone.
Okay.
Because Gladwell
There's
talks
opportunity for the hustlers.
Yes, there's always opportunity for everyone. And Gladwell talks about two types of intelligence.
Yeah.
So what he calls general intelligence, and general intelligence is the one that you test in an IQ.
Yes.
So you go and you do an IQ test, it will test your general intelligence of everything.
Yeah.
And general intelligence can only take you so far.
So far, yes.
There's a certain point where you reach where it doesn't matter how many more points you accumulate, it will not translate into success in life.
Correct.
And that's why, as Prof says, the A's and the super A's then work for the C's and the D's. Because the C's and the D's have something else.
Yeah.
And this is what they call practical intelligence.
Correct.
That's what they have. That's street smarts. Innate intelligence.
Yes.
So innate intelligence is knowing what to say, to whom, knowing when to say it,
Yes.
knowing how to say it to have maximum effect.
Yes.
Now, having one doesn't mean you have the other. So just because you have general intelligence doesn't mean you have street smarts. Just because you have street smarts
Yes.
doesn't mean you have general intelligence.
Yes.
But to be a good hustler,
Yeah.
you have to have street smarts.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Now you can give them your quote.
It's coming. Now, I found this so appealing to me and so inspirational. And I'm going to end with this. Allow me to read it. It is not the brightest who succeed, nor is success simply the sum of the decisions and efforts we make on our own behalf. It is rather a gift. Outliers are there. It is rather a gift. Outliers are there who have been given opportunities and who have had the strength and presence of mind to seize them.
So for you to be an outlier, you have to be given the opportunity, but you have to have the strength and the presence of mind to seize it. This is Winning Headlines. Today we had a winning cartoon from Gado of The Standard and a winning headline from the Daily Nation. The race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, but time and chance happen to all of them. See you tomorrow.
Great.